Oh, how you doing?
Oh my goodness, I am full. Life has been really full since I talked to you 2 weeks ago. First of all, happy birthday. Did
Thank
you
you
have
so
a good
much.
birthday?
Yes, I did. It was beautiful. I
Good.
am always grateful to celebrate, grateful to have people around me who are, excited to celebrate me and with me. And I told you a little bit, and y'all, I don't know if everybody knows, I am very picky. As a kitchen manager who has made sure that hundreds and thousands of experiences have been great and exceeded expectations, I do not take it lightly, and it's very easy to get points off. And it's hard to earn it back sometimes. Of course, we operate in forgiveness, so no grudges held, things like that. But I love to develop the staff. So now it's a conversation that has to be had somewhere else. So unfortunately had one of those situations where we went. I told you Breakfast at Barney's had this whole
Mhm.
thing when I was accused of stealing a reservation in a
Ah!
conversation that I did not have. Um, but thankfully, and I say that because I might leave a review, and I don't always do that, but we might for the last birthday in Georgia for right now. That's big, actually. When you think
Right?
about it. Um, and so went to the botanical gardens after that, and I was thinking about you, how you talk about looking at the beauty, and I was hoping that the ladies or whoever wanted to join us would come and get some rest. Looking at the beauty. It ended up being me and my boo, and that was fine, and we
Mm.
enjoyed ourselves.
Oh, I love the botanical gardens.
Yeah, the Alice
It's
in Wonderland, they did a really good job.
oh good. I haven't seen
Mhm.
that yet.
Mhm, mhm. It was
It's
fun.
we went up to oh, I just blanked. We went up to a winery in northern Georgia to
The,
celebrate
dancing goats, you said.
oh, fainting goats.
Fainting goats, thank
Fainting
you.
goats.
Got you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. T with our powers combined.
Right. It's so fun. We brought home wine glasses because 'cause it's got an
Uh,
upside down goat on it, which is
mhm,
just awesome. You have to have
mhm.
a set of those, right? Up in the North Georgia mountains, just
Mm,
stunning. Like,
yeah,
it was beautiful. We were thinking we might get rained out, but we
mhm.
didn't. They
Yeah,
have
it
a
ended up being good.
it was stunning. Like,
It
it was
was.
just beautiful,
Mhm.
and it was a great weekend to be outside. I'm glad you got
Yeah.
to be at the botanical gardens. Yeah, that was
Yes.
we'll put links to those in our show notes for folks, and,
Yeah.
check it out. Like, this is such a beautiful time in Georgia if
Mhm.
you've taken your allergy meds.
Right. Oh, and important. And like you taught us the other week on the podcast, and if you're traveling, take them with you just in case, right?
Woo!
Because you might
Yep,
be good where you are,
yep,
but what
yep,
about where
yep.
you're going, right? And that's why I'm excited to have this conversation with our guest today, talking about marketing. It does actually remind me of the rain in Costa Rica, and started raining, and I thought that this was going to null and void my experience that I was looking forward to having, right? We were supposed to be going zip lining. Y'all, the next day I ended up ziplining upside down in the rainforest. It was beautiful and it was clear because it rained, right? And so that's what I was thinking about for my
Ah,
birthday, for Sammy's graduation. And congratulations, Sammy, on your graduation,
right?
right?
Go
It rained in the
Sammy.
morning, right? Go Sammy,
Oh,
go
yeah.
Scotties. It rained in the morning. So I was like, what about the rest of the day? But we knew
Can
that the rain
I
clears it
tell you
out.
though, there was a
Yeah.
moment of panic. And
What
the
happened?
reason there was a moment of panic was
Mhm.
because, a lot of those kids were 2020 graduates. They were 2020 high school graduates and
Mm,
2021 graduates. So they had not had traditional graduations
mm,
because of the pandemic.
mhm,
And when the lightning strikes happened, because Agnes Scott College has their graduation outdoors, they
mhm,
moved us all to the indoors. And I
mhm.
had that moment of just like, all right, y'all,
Yeah.
don't do these kids again.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but it
yeah,
cleared up. It was good. They had a
right.
huge tent that held. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
Um, and but also realizing that moment, like I hadn't really thought about it because it'd been 5 years. But this kiddo
mhm.
had not had a graduation.
Yeah,
Had not had. I mean, a
yeah,
Zoom
prom and
graduation is
things were
not
being
oh
it's not the
prom
same.
end of things, right? So it was really,
Oh my
it
goodness.
was we talk about rituals and
Right.
celebrations and ceremony,
Mhm.
especially when in my still point class about
Mhm.
radical self and community care,
Yeah.
and really just taking a moment to pause and celebrate
Yeah.
and be present. And I have to say, because you were an RA when you were in college,
Yes,
right?
I was.
This
Yes.
whole mess about how quick they have to move out, like I feel
Mm. I
for the
forgot about it,
kids,
Lord.
but for the parents, but for the like, it's a lot.
It's a
It's
lot.
a lot.
Mhm.
Like, so everybody's like, "How are you?" I'm like, "I'm exhausted. I've moved
Yeah.
2 kids. I've graduated a kid. My mom was in town for 2 weeks. It was awesome. It was
Yeah.
all good stuff."
Yes,
And
I
I am so looking forward to this weekend when I
yeah.
don't have anything scheduled or planned.
Right.
And I love my people, and nobody called me.
I will not. I will give you your space. Yes, and that includes everybody else, y'all. Y'all
Right?
heard the woman, right?
Right?
And shout out to Janet for coming out. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I just put her on a plane this morning. I already miss her, but it was
Mm,
a really good visit, and
good.
just grateful to have some time and
Yeah.
really, it's always good.
Yeah.
Always good.
And the last thing, and I know we're going to start here, right? But it really does make me think about business and marketing and how do we do this, right? Because you go through the school system and you're saying this is what prom is going to be like, this is what graduation is going to be like,
Mhm.
and that's not what happens. We had another
Right.
graduate over here, and she graduated in December and the ceremony was in May. So to have it
Mhm.
split, and what does that look like for family availability and different things, and what you were expecting to celebrate and everything. um and in business, when that happens, the email still needs to go out for the Mother's Day sale, and the post still needs to be posted, and the engagement needs to be followed up with after. You know what I mean? And so I'm excited to tap in with our expert guests as we get on the stage, but super excited to celebrate our graduates. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, and the parents.
and the
And the
parents, right,
parents.
and the families and everything else. Yes.
Did I tell you that I did my neighborhood banner? I may not have told you this because it
Oh
was kind of a last minute
no.
thing. When I got home
Mm,
from Pittsburgh, you
hmm.
know how you drive in, and one of our rituals around Georgia neighborhoods is everybody puts up banners
Hmm.
of
It's true.
congrats these,
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's all across the nation or not, but it
it's a
happens
good
here.
question. Yeah.
And so I drive into my neighborhood and I was like, oh, no banner. So of course I
Mm,
call the people that I know. I was
yeah.
like, hey, who's doing the banner this year? And they're like, you?
Mm,
I was like, oh, okay. So, of course, I'm a yes person. So I'm like, sure, I'll do that. And then I was like, why?
mm,
Why did I volunteer for that? But it was
mm,
totally worth it when it got up and Sammy was like, oh,
mm.
even though grown, right, hadn't
Yeah,
been home. I mean, has been home, but not lived at home for 4 years. It still meant a lot that they were celebrated along with the rest of the neighborhood and
yeah.
people they graduated with. But yeah, I
How
was
did you
like,
do it? Did you do the names with Sammy's picture, like, really
mm-hmm,
big? Is
mm-hmm.
Sammy's picture on the
No
corner? And
pictures.
it's like
We didn't do
everybody's
pictures.
okay, I was
We
gonna
did
ask
not do
you.
pictures. We
Okay.
just said congrats and said the neighborhood name with the
Yeah,
graduates, and
yeah.
then but it's kindergarten, fifth grade.
Mhm.
Oh, let's
Middle school
see,
kind of.
middle grade, eighth
Yeah, yeah.
grade, maybe high
Yeah,
school.
yeah, yeah.
But I just sent it out to the whole neighborhood. Let me know if you've got a graduate. Let me know your name. Let me know and I was like, woo, yeah, there's a lot. So it
Yeah,
was all good. It works. And it's just,
good job.
I've been out of PTA mode for years. And
Mm,
so it felt like a PTA moment, Parent Teacher Association, for those that may not be from the States who are listening.
mm,
Shout out to our international listeners. But
yeah.
I'm I'm kind of glad to be out of that mode. So it was kind of like my last final hurrah. Hurrah!
That's a good job.
Hurrah!
We need a round of applause
Right?
for the
Right?
decades of dedication. Thank you so much for all of the
Right?
community
And
care
for all the
that you have
moms,
done, Christine. No, really, and all the
right?
moms. Yes, it is definitely my goddaughter's first year in school, and has
Shan
definitely kept her busy.
Dan, thank you for being here. It says YouTube just recommended me for your live stream on my homepage.
Yes,
Fantastic. Glad you're here. Glad you're with us. We're about to
yes,
do our official kickoff. We've just
let's
been
do
kind
it.
of checking in and saying hello to each other, but let's make this official, shall we?
Yes, yes. Hey,
Let's
y'all.
do it.
I am Shannon Mitchell, a Black millennial entrepreneur and Amazon best-selling author and publisher. An all-natural, product manufacturer. I'm a champion for your natural self-care, sustainable business care, and overall intentional wellness.
Hey, y'all, I'm Christine Gautreaux, a white social justice advocate, an international speaker, coach, best-selling author and publisher, and dancing social worker who helps you upgrade yourself in community care.
Together, we are a podcast rooted in the 8 dimensions of wellness and the co-founders of the Women Connected in Wisdom community.
And we like to get together every week for intentional conversations about how to be wise in business, relationships, and wellness. And we bring on special expert guests to teach us how to do it all. How do we do this? What do we do?
Yeah, like how do we do it? Where is it in your story that you got into it or that you figured that part out that you were really struggling with? I love hearing the stories. I love hearing the resources. And I love hearing like which part helps our listeners, which part really stood out to them compared to what we thought of and what we talked about the first time. So I'm excited to hear what our business owners had to say about our expert today.
Right? And
Yeah.
since we're rooted in the 8 dimensions of wellness, today we're talking about occupational wellness. You ready for me to read that definition?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. So, occupational wellness represents living in the purpose, passion, and productivity in one's own profession, chosen profession. This includes work life balance. We always put that in quotes because we don't truly believe there's balance. We feel like we strive for it, but whoop, whoop. As a fulfilling and productive professional life is fitting to weave together with a healthy personal life.
Mm. For me, what stood out this week is purpose, right? Like no matter where I go, I always end up checking on my team as individuals, right? I know where they are in their journey, their studies, their goals, and working on them, like whatever they have going on. I know where they are there, and of course, helping them in whatever like transitional season. I feel like that's always where I find myself helping the people that I'm on the team with. So when I'm thinking about my work right now, making sure that it's rooted in purpose, but then like seeing the opportunities for me to use my voice have still continued to pop up in different places. What about
Mhm.
you?
Yeah, the balance, because I feel out of balance right now.
I understand.
Um,
Yes, a lot.
we always love how Stacey Abrams calls it work life Jenga.
Hmm.
And that sometimes you have to pull from over here for over here.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like for the last 2 weeks,
Hmm.
especially with the family commitments and things going on. So
Hmm.
I'm ready. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
as far as occupational goes,
Yeah.
like, I'm ready for the creativity. Like, I think between spring and summer, you and I were talking about this, about our
Mhm.
creativity and the products and things we're working on,
Yeah.
and I'm tired of, well, I mean, I'm tired of some of,
What?
like, all the
The work
adulting,
part of it,
both
yeah, it's
personal,
so
right?
much. My goodness. Yes, because somebody
I'm
else do
ready
the
for some
laundry.
play,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I'm excited about our guest today because I think what she's talking about is part of the play,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And yeah, so you want to read her
Yeah,
bio and let's pull her up here?
absolutely.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
y'all. Today our guest is Amber Gaige. And Amber, before I start to please correct me when you get up here if I'm pronouncing your last name incorrectly. Amber Gaige is a certified StoryBrand guide and a second-generation entrepreneur with over 20 years of hands-on experience in marketing. As a fractional Chief Marketing Officer, and Senior Vice President of Marketing. She has served as a marketing liaison for various companies, including national franchises. Known for her outside of the box marketing strategies, Amber achieved personal success by selling her lead generation company just 5 years after its inception. As the founder of Far Beyond Marketing, she is dedicated to empowering businesses with innovative marketing solutions that drive growth and engagement. Amber's passion for helping others succeed shines through in every project she undertakes, making her a trusted partner for companies seeking to elevate their marketing efforts. Help us welcome to the stage Amber Gage. Hi, Amber.
Please. Hi,
Welcome,
Shannon.
Amber.
Welcome.
And your pronunciation was spot on. It sounds like
Mm,
something that belongs on the dashboard of your car. That's
thank
all
you
I
so much.
say.
Got it. And I do like cars, so I hear what you're saying. I hear you. And it honestly reminds me of marketing too. We were just looking over our numbers, the data, talking about our goals, like Christine said. And when I think about what I know about marketing right now, it's how you're spending the money, right? And the ads, what you want to see go out, and the numbers that you want to see come in, how to gauge it so you know how to pivot. What would you say? And I know you help your clients with, what do you call it? Um, Marketing mishaps. So
Mhm.
I know you could go a lot of different directions. What would you say to what I just put on the table?
Yeah, I think that it is all about return on investment, knowing your numbers, understanding what you get out of the marketing. But marketing is both tangible and intangible, Shannon.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
marketing is an art and a science. And I think that's what makes it so exciting every day is
mhm,
that while we should focus on the numbers, we should also focus on the impressions,
mhm.
on the responses, and on the messaging and the branding that we're putting out into the world. It's hugely important. People do
Yes, it
business with
is.
people they know, like, and love. Well,
Mhm.
and that they trust, right? So how do they know, like, and trust us? By what we put out in the world.
Yes. And I love how you said that, right? I know it's simple, and then it takes a huge machine to keep it going and consistent, and not a machine that we always have to push in our own strength, right? But the systems that are up and running. When you talk about know, like, and trust, I know you work from the four C's.
Mhm,
Somebody who would like to work with you and get one of your discovery calls, where would
mhm,
you say they should start? If let's say it like this, I could be specific, right? We're women connected in wisdom. And as
mhm,
a woman, I've been very intentional about not being manipulative, right? I don't
mhm,
try to convince you that you should do something. I don't try to seduce you and change your mind. It's
mhm.
just whoever you are, right? Wherever you are, I'm the type of person to try to help somebody. I have a
Yeah.
band aid if you're cut, right? But then
Mhm.
most people in real life, if they're not really cut, they might not say they're cut. So how
Right.
do I, as a business owner, right, use marketing effectively, and still be authentic, like we were talking about, and not pushy or salesy?
100%. No one likes to be sold to, right?
Right.
And that's where it comes to telling the story of your business. I'm one of a few hundred people in the world that
Mhm.
is certified in StoryBrand.
Mm,
Great creation by Donald Miller.
mhm,
Huge fan of
mhm,
his book, How to Story Brand Your Business. And what that means is that when you are intentional about telling the story of your business, you
mhm,
are also simultaneously intentional about helping your customer to achieve their goals by
mhm,
making the customer the hero of their own story.
mhm,
So, the whole thing about story branding your business is that you are giving your customers a roadmap of understanding who you are and how your product or service moves them in the direction of obtaining their goals and their wants and their desires.
mhm.
So gone are the days when we should talk about ourselves in such a way, like you said, Shannon. Oh, it's
Right,
all about me. Oh, I'm going to
right.
manipulate
Mhm.
you to buying my product or my service. No, thank you. I'm not interested. I have already shut you off and moved on and have my latte. Like, no, I'm not listening to you anymore. Um,
Right.
but if I answer a question for you, such
Yes.
as, hey, I'm having a hard time getting through to my audience, and
Mhm,
I start saying things like, well, tell me more. Who's your audience? Tell me why you want to reach your audience. And I
mhm,
immediately turn that conversation so that you are the hero of the topic at hand. Well, now
mhm,
we're having a two-sided conversation.
mhm,
And that's what it's all about. It's about helping your business to have a story, but putting your customer in the hero box.
mhm.
Mm. Well, and Amber, I have a curiosity because, the world has changed so much in the
Yeah.
last 10 years, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And continues to change so rapidly. How do you help your customers? And I've heard the story, which I immediately was drawn to because I teach people about storytelling,
Yeah.
using movement and storytelling and voice. So it's my jam. I love that. But is it strictly to the story? Like, how do you get your customers to stand out in a sea of millions?
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
really is a sea of millions right now.
It is the sea of millions, 100%. We talked before the show a little bit about how people do business with people that they know, like, and
Mhm.
trust. And one of the things that I developed years ago from over 20 plus years of marketing, giving my age away here, ladies, we're going to say
We
thank you.
celebrate you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm no spring chicken here, but Jesus gave us Botox for a reason. So
Come on.
that later. I'm saying. But what I developed was the 4 C's of effective marketing. And by moving our clients through the 4 C's of marketing, we help them to differentiate. We help them to tell their story. We help them to target. We help them to plan, and we help them to monitor. So that is the process that we follow. It's in my international best-selling book. We want to be a white glove service that helps people to achieve their goals without feeling like they have to be a marketing expert. Ain't nobody got time to be an expert in everything. Be an expert in what you do best, and let us help you and give you a system to achieve your goals.
I love that. And before I ask my next question, we just want to first pause and celebrate because you said it in a sea of a lot of other things. International best-selling author.
Yes.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Yes, of
We know
course.
how much work that takes. So
Yeah.
congrats.
Mhm.
Give a shout out
Mhm.
to your book, the title of your book. We'll put it in the show notes for folks, but give a shout out for the title if folks want to get your international best-selling book.
Oh, thank you, Christine. Yes, my book is called The Far Beyond Marketing Guidebook, How to Stop Being Duped by Bad Marketing. And you can get that on Amazon. You can get it on my website, farbeyondmarketing.com. It's in digital and it's in paperback, however you like to read.
Congrats. So my question is, both Shannon's mentioned it and you've mentioned it. What are the 4 C's?
Okay, the 4 C's. The first one is what we've already talked about. It is the storytelling. It's clear copy. How to talk about your brand, your business, your mission, if you will, so that people will shut up and listen. So we take people through the StoryBrand workshop, the 7-part framework of how to talk about your business as if it were a blockbuster movie. So clear copy, first C.
That makes me, the way you said that, as it was your blockbuster movie. Did either of y'all see the movie The Holiday?
Oh, I love that movie.
I
I don't
love
know.
that. It's where they switch out, they switch houses, and one of them is in advertising. She does promo,
Mm.
and in the movie, Shannon, it's pretty hysterical because she sees her life as a best-selling movie, but it's like a disaster because she's going through a breakup. And so, Amber, when you said that, that's that scene from that movie came up about oh, if your life was, or if your business was, right? It was a way to visualize. All right, number 2, C.
Love that. The second C is consistent branding. We want our brand to stand out. We don't want to confuse people. Our brand should accurately reflect what we do and who we are, and really the vibe of our business, right? Make it unique. Your brand should be standalone. Your logo, people should be able to look at your logo and understand what you do quickly. And then consistently putting it out there so that people can find you when they need you. And we go in the book and we talk about, here are the ways that you can brand consistently based upon the size of company that you are, where you're located, and what customer demographic you're trying to serve.
I love that. Very important for scalability and not being overwhelmed on different levels.
Yeah, 100%. And we're so tempted. We want to play in Canva all day long. We want all the pretty little scripts. We want all the pretty colors, but you got to find something and stick to it, and make sure that your vendor partners are sticking to your brand standard as well. There's a font that you chose for a reason. Don't let them use other fonts. There's a color that you chose for a reason. Make sure that it's consistent. If we confuse, people are going to think it's a different company. Can't afford that. Every customer is valuable. So make sure that you spend the time to invest in a brand standard.
Hello.
Ooh, good advice.
Yes.
Love it. All right, third C.
Third C, customer demographic. Who's your customer? Who needs you? Who's paying your bills? Come on. It's not always who we think it is. A lot of times when we start our businesses or our nonprofits or whatever it may be, we are desperate for customers. So we're going to serve everybody and everybody. Come on. I love you. Yes, I'll do it. But studies have shown that the more you niche down, the more you can charge and the more successful that you are. So taking the time to identify not just male, female, gender, location. What is the psychographic? What is the motivational factor for why they're doing business with you? What other brands are they interested in? A customer demographic is more than a list that you can buy. It is an alter ego. It is an aspirational identity. So understanding who it is that is attracted to your business and why. That's hugely important when you're even developing your calls to action, your pricing, your offers, your social media. Talk to the audience that you want to serve as if they were having a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, in my case, with you. And then don't worry about alienating other people, because your message will resonate with other people. You're not alienating anybody. Other people will come, but the more clear you are with that one group, the more successful you will be with penetrating a clear customer demographic and positioning yourself as the expert for them.
Oh, I love that. And I love the way you say you're not alienating anybody, because I think that's what I've struggled with over the years is with niching down is I don't want to leave anybody out. Right. But I love that. Like you're kind of having the target, you're aiming for the bullseye. You're not leaving the rest of the group out. You're just aiming, you're getting really clear.
And we're going to the rest of the target, right? We love them. That's wonderful. Come on. And if they resonate and they appreciate what you're doing, great.
Right. And Shannon says you're right. Font and color palette is very important.
It is.
And
When I was working with SCAD, they gave me a whole brand book, it said lighting, don't do this, neons are out, all this stuff with Shalo Glow, because of certain color
Neons
palettes.
are out.
I know, isn't it beautiful? I know, but we can do it. We can do other stuff, you know what I mean? So that's how I have fun in the different brands, just jump hex numbers, hex numbers and fonts.
I love making hex.
What'd you say?
That sounds bad. I love
What'd you say?
hex.
No, hey, no. You sound like you know what you're talking about. You know how to take care of it, and that's why you are our expert guest. Okay.
Right. Number 4.
That's what I was about to say. What's the
fourth
one?
Number 4, channel management. We are not in the business to turn them and burn them, ladies. We are in the business of serving again and again. Yeah. That means that we better have a rinse and repeat, comprehensive sales funnel, opportunities for upselling, opportunities for added value, so that we can serve our clients perpetually. We all know how hard it is to get a new customer. So why wouldn't you hold on to them as long as possible by offering them continual value? So that channel management looks different depending on the industry that you're in. I realize that it's a generic, broad term, but when we talk about channel management as it comes to marketing, it's about creating that life cycle for your company through your sales funnel.
And y'all, I think we should pause, and not you two ladies, right? I know you'll pause with me, but I mean the listeners, right? Because life cycle cannot be downplayed. Like the customer lifetime value that you can have through consistent nurturing is gonna save the burnout. And we know about the burnout. I want to get to the part of your story, Amber, when you're selling the business at 5 years, because that's been my time goal. And selling a business means a list of things have been done successfully, so I look forward to having that part. But the sales funnel and serving our customer perpetually is part of what I'm excited helping women build in business with Women Connecting in Wisdom, right? We talk about the books, we talk about the different speaking engagements after you sell from the back of the room, and then you get them into your system of your business and they're connected to the resource that they needed. How do we take care of them? I think this year is like a year of nurturing for me of all the different seeds and everything that we've been planting, so what I'm hearing from you, Amber, is a lot of things that are simple, but it takes a lot to consistently do. And what I love that you said about the psychographic with the customer demographic is a really specific way of saying something that I haven't heard that's usually included in who is your avatar, who's your, the person that you're talking to. So I love how you put those 4 C's together. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you. I really believe that when you have synergy across those 4 C's, you will see a lift in your marketing. My light went off. We're going to turn that light back
There we go. Hello, light.
I
No.
thought it was just
Let
a
there be more
little
light.
for people listening, watching. In addition to listening, I thought it was just like a point. You know how sometimes you get a little sparkle going
Mhm.
when you make a really good
Yeah,
point.
it was
Mhm.
a glow from the heavens. Yeah,
Well,
sure.
hey, it happens. It happens. It happens in the audiobook too. Like leave it in. It's right on the time where she made a really good point, you know.
Right.
Um, but I want us to talk about that, Amber. So you sold your company after 5 years of inception. How was that for you? And what did you learn about lead generation through that process?
Oh my goodness, Shannon. So it was a whirlwind. I will
Mm,
tell you that. It was absolutely a whirlwind. When I
wow.
started my company in 2013, the first time around, I had no customers, I had no employees, I had a license agreement and a concept that was loosely worked out that
I
I
hear
was
you.
told, figure it out. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So now you're off to the races, right? Um,
Yes.
and it was direct mail. You know, a lot of people like to say that direct mail is dead. Well, it wasn't
Mm.
in this case. We do a lot of lead generation for contractors.
Okay.
What I learned was that when you, again, niche down, when
Hmm.
you provide clear, compelling data
Hmm.
to the right market and you make it easy for them to do business. So we were basically a consumer guidebook. We vetted the top 5 businesses in categories,
Hmm.
and we would mail that guidebook to homeowners who had the discretionary income that we knew could afford to hire
Hmm.
our industries,
Hmm.
right? There was no charge to the homeowners, but there was a charge to the participants in the guidebook.
Hmm.
And we did lead generation for those participating companies who qualified because
Hmm.
we vetted every single one of them. We only took 5.
Good job.
Once we
Yeah.
got 5, you're out. Like,
Right.
sorry, you
Yeah.
know,
Don't have space. Catch us
don't,
next time. Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna
Hmm.
have to show us that you're the best in your industry, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it was a hustle. It was
Hmm.
definitely a hustle. What I learned was that my team had to be better than me in every
Hmm.
single way. I had to hire people who were stronger, smarter, and more capable than me. I
Mm.
learned that systems had to run the business.
Hmm.
The business had to run whether I was sick or whether I was out with my child. Systems run the business. People don't run the business. You never control a team member, right? They're gonna
Right.
come, they're gonna go. So
Yeah.
your
There.
systems have to run your business if you're serious about scaling. I
Hmm.
learned that if you want to sell your business, you must have documentation.
Hmm.
You must have processes that are duplicatable because
Hmm.
no one's going to buy your business if they think they have to come to you every day to learn how it's done. If it's
No.
up here, no one wants it.
Hmm.
Document it.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so selling a business is a wonderful thing. We work with clients all the time who are ready to go from 6 figures to 7 figures. We work
Hmm.
with clients all the time that are saying, hey, we're being approached about being purchased, but we don't have a marketing strategy in place that is documented.
Hmm.
So it was a fun ride. It was fast and furious.
Hmm.
Uh, I'd do it again in a heartbeat. So yeah, you go for it. If that's your goal, Shannon, go
Yeah.
do
And
it.
I don't know if I want to sell the businesses, but I want to be in a position that I'm able to do what I want. And the system should be in place anyways, you know what I mean? And we try not to shit on ourselves. So let me not say that, but those things should be running, like you said, for the business to take care of itself. And again, like you help your clients with so that we can focus on the things that we're really superstars at, we have superpowers in. So I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Well, because we all
Yeah.
have lives, we all have passions, we all
Hmm.
have pursuits. Our business is an aspect of who we are and what we bring to the world. Right. It's just a piece
Hmm.
of us.
Yeah.
It shouldn't suck the life out of us. It should be an
Hmm.
expression, in my
Right.
opinion.
Right. And what I've seen of women-owned businesses is that the communication is a lot. We have to communicate a lot in life in general, and our tasks are a lot. So then when you say all of the marketing stuff and all of the finance stuff and all of the system build out and the graphic okays and checks and it's a lot. So
Mhm.
I'm excited for them to get this information, because it's simple, it's doable. Again, you need the consistency, you need the clarity. All these things are things that we talk about when we work with our authors and our narrators. But I still feel like we shared, like I shared, there's things I could do better at. I need to get better at running ads and things like that. But I know once we get this funnel, like you said, really tight, the amazing products and the amazing experts that we have, I think will, be able to help and serve even more people.
Mhm. Absolutely.
So, Amber, we have listeners. We have all kinds of listeners, and some are running side gigs and hustles, and some are running, they're working for multi-million dollar corporations. But if somebody's just starting out, what do they need to know? about marketing. Say they're
Mm.
starting a new side gig or a new business and they don't know. Like, where do they start? What do they do? What do you recommend?
Yeah. I recommend reading a fantastic book called Marketing is War by Trout and Reese, because Marketing is War talks about the life cycle of marketing. And I will tell you that as a business grows, the way that you market your business needs to grow. In the beginning, when you are just starting out, then what you need to come to terms with quickly is that you are selling yourself. Like it or don't like it. Your brand is new. You can earn the luxury of separating your identity from your brand. That takes time, energy, systems, and money. But in the beginning, you are going to start off like marketing is guerrilla excuse me, I can say that again. Marketing is guerrilla warfare. It is hand-to-hand combat. It is shaking hands and kissing babies. It is blooming where you are planted. It is attending the Chamber of Commerce meetings, working the booth at the farmer's market.
It's having a conversation when you're naked at the Korean spa about what you do and getting us another speaker and more collaboration.
It's,
Shout out to
Not to
Jeju.
tell
Shout
you that
out.
you did that shit. I did that shit.
Mm.
it's rocking that baby while you're
Mm.
texting with one hand.
Mm.
Right, right,
It's not structured. It
right.
is a aspect of yourself that you are choosing to sacrifice and get out there. It's deeply personal. And you gotta be scrappy. I have laughed for years and told my team, if I was gonna have another brand tomorrow, I would name it Scrappy Girl Marketing. And my spirit animal is a raccoon. Okay.
Mm.
Tell you why. They're a little bit fluffy. I'm a little bit fluffy. They like clean things. I like clean things. They like food. I like
Mm.
food. They're kind of scrappy. They can be rabid, you know. So I'm just saying, I love me a good raccoon. Okay.
Mm.
That's my spirit animal.
I'm
So
for it.
yeah. So I picture Scrappy Girl Marketing is like a raccoon with some boxing gloves on and red lipstick. Like,
Mm.
if you're gonna start out your business, you better be scrappy. You better be
Right.
personal. You gotta get out there and pound the pavement. Okay, I'm done. I'm on my
Mhm.
soapbox.
I love it. Well, we have a listener that has a really good question, so I
Mhm.
want to pull that up here.
Yes.
Shannon says, which is good for providing services,
Mm.
a funnel or a website?
Well, a website is a component of a funnel.
Mhm.
So you need both. I would say that you start with a website and then you plan your funnel to incorporate your website. Gone are the days where you need a massive, meaty website. Don't let someone tell you that you do when you're
Mhm.
starting out. You need basic information, and the average person comes off your website in 4 seconds or less if they can't
Mhm.
identify what you do. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Simple website. You should always have multiple calls to action, and you should have a reward for when they come to your website, like a downloadable PDF, a video, a quiz, a something. Because just because they come to your website doesn't mean they're ready to buy immediately. You're going to have to establish rapport with them. So this is going back to the funnel.
Mhm.
If you're going to give them something, they got to give you something. And that means they're giving you their email address. So
Mhm.
your website becomes a component of your online sales funnel. I hope that answers the question.
I
Mhm.
think it answered it great. I love that. I do have a question, Amber. Like, should you change your giveaway?
Sure.
And if so, how often?
When it stops working.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
because your giveaway could work for months, or you could try a giveaway and you're not getting any email addresses. So this is where website analytics is really, really important. I've seen giveaways last for years. I mean, I've got some clients that are attorneys, and they're doing things like, hey, here's a one pager on due diligence before you vendor contracts or whatever. People download it all the time. And then
Mhm.
I put up a quiz a few months ago.
Mhm.
Nobody clicked on it. Nobody was
Mhm.
interested, so we took it off. So just
Mhm.
watch your analytics, watch the visitors coming to your website. When it stops working, switch it out.
Love it.
All right. So, how long did you wait before you took it down?
We gave it about 90 days.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. That's
Okay.
good to know. Like some of the, like I'm like, what's the good amount of time? What's not a good amount of
Mhm,
time, right?
Yeah,
mhm,
yeah. And, again, you have to trust your gut. You know your business. You know your clients.
mhm.
If you're seeing this not working in 60 days, who's gonna come and shoot you because you took down your
That's
lead
true.
generator? Nobody.
Right. You
Mhm.
You
get to
know,
make the choice. That's
right,
the
Right.
right.
right. I
Hmm.
Mm.
love that. I love that.
So when you're helping people with marketing, what's your favorite thing about marketing and working in this industry?
Oh my gosh, do I have to pick one? I love
No,
my
you don't.
job.
We're here for the soapbox. We have time.
Oh, girl, I love my job. I love
Mm,
marketing.
mhm,
I believe that America is held up by hardworking men and women, especially women. Just gonna say that,
mhm.
because we as entrepreneurs, at what is it, over 50 million
There's a lot.
entrepreneurs in the United States alone.
Mhm,
So, what I love best is helping those businesses grow.
mhm,
I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and
mhm,
I love the freedom and the autonomy and the uniqueness that entrepreneurship brings
mhm,
to our world. So, I
mhm.
think what I love is helping people shine. I love getting their results. That's great when we can
Right.
10x their business. But
Mhm.
what happens when you 10x someone's business is that they get to live the life that they want to live. They
Yes.
decide they're not going to work on Friday. They
Mhm,
decide they're going to, take a field trip with their kid. It gives
mhm,
them more freedom.
mhm.
So when we help people grow their business, they live the life of their dreams.
Yeah, I love that. And I believe it. And that's why we love, supporting entrepreneurs, why we are in business in the midst of everything else. And yeah, the freedom. I think about the 4-day work week. I think about taking quarters off, all the things.
Yeah.
So I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, especially as women,
Yeah.
right? We
Oh my
dream
goodness.
big dreams and
Mhm,
we are givers and nurturers. And there's a lot that rides on a woman's shoulders.
mhm.
And so if you can help a woman achieve her dreams, she will change the world.
Yeah, we know that to be true.
We
And
absolutely know that to be true.
we talked to experts, right, from around the world. We talked about how you help your clients. What are you doing for yourself this week for your personal occupational wellness? How do you take care of Amber?
Oh my goodness. I had no idea you were going to ask me that question, but I have a great
Mm.
answer.
Okay, okay. What have you been working on?
Okay, so one of my dear girlfriends tapped me on
Mm,
the shoulder last week. She said, "Hey, you're going to Mexico with me next
come
week."
on. Viva Mexico. Okay.
Yes! So tomorrow at
Mhm.
4:45 in the morning, we are heading to Cancun. And guess
I
what?
love it.
She is a badass woman in business.
Yeah.
She has a construction company
Mhm.
herself. Okay.
Mhm.
She's in a man's world. And so we're going to be laying on the beach with our
Mhm.
laptops.
Come
We're
on.
going to be working from Mexico. That's what we're doing
Okay.
for ourselves. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I love it. Come on, write-offs. I love it.
Right? I
I do
Yeah.
love
too.
it.
You get to it with a pina colada.
Yes, yes.
Right?
I
Oh,
love
that's a
that.
fabulous thing. Well,
I'm
you
into
saying
it.
that about your girlfriend tapping you on your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
The power of those connections, the
Yes.
power of our friendships, the
Mhm.
power of our networking and our business connections. I just can't say enough about that,
Mm.
about people being connected. I recently helped a friend who was starting a podcast,
Mm.
and she was like, "Hey, do you have any advice for me?" And I probably spent an hour with her just having a conversation. And I didn't think anything about it because I love it. I love talking about what Shannon and I have created. Well, all of a sudden in my inbox this morning, there's a gift certificate for a float. Have y'all done a float before where you go to a sensory
Yes.
deprivation chamber and you
Yes, I
float?
love it.
She's like, I was trying to think about something for self care for you that you might not have tried
Mhm.
before. I was like, are you kidding me? This is
Yes.
phenomenal.
I hope you
And
enjoy it.
right? I was just thinking about how what you said about us being nurturers and giving and
Mhm.
lifting each other up, and
Mhm.
how powerful that is in the work that we all three do in the world.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. We're going to
And
work on her logo. We're going to lay on the beach and
yeah.
work on a new logo for her. She said,
Ooh,
I think it's time for a new logo. I said, great.
I
Let's
love
do
it. That's a beautiful place to daydream too. Go
it.
to a beautiful place and have fun with it. You said pina colada, absolutely, right?
Or two,
Um,
or
right.
three. We didn't judge it.
Hey, hey, and that's why, and I had to take it off. Say, you know what? We're gonna take alcohol off. We're gonna do something else. And I'm thinking about empty calories and all, and the sugar.
I
I
like
try
that.
to be intentional about it.
I love that.
But
Yeah.
I was telling Christine, I did have a lavender lemon drop for my birthday this weekend. So,
Oh,
we and it was smooth. They did good. So, You
All
know,
right.
we live in the safe zone. But
Yeah.
I hear you ladies on the Cancun trip. I hear you, Christine, on what would you say your official hashtag is, Christine?
Oh, for this week, my
Yeah.
wisdom in action.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about occupational wellness. So I think mine would be hashtag get creative, because I
Ooh.
really do want to do some of the creative stuff that I've been putting down the to-do list, because I've been doing some of the other more high-level administrative stuff, and I need to get creative. So that's
Mhm.
my hashtag for this week.
Yes. I was thinking about it earlier for mine when we were talking. Let's see if I wrote it down. Oh, I love what you said, Amber. You said it's an art and a science, you
Mhm.
know. So I'll say hashtag embracing the art and the science.
Mm.
Mhm. Because I love to have fun with it and the science. I love to
Mhm.
have fun with it, and I'm also working on my rhythm of, documenting my numbers, following up with the numbers on the website like you talked about,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Following up with the engagement and the things that are posted, where are we at with that, and making sure people are responded to. So that's the science behind it, and that has to be consistent. But the art
Mhm.
and the beauty, I wanna make sure I'm paying attention to.
Right.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, I
Everybody.
have one more practical question, Amber, before we
Mm,
let you go, because I love having like experts that are like in it and they're
yeah.
very practical and they answer the questions. I've loved having you on here and as a guest. So, how often we've talked about it with different experts
Mhm.
across the 196 episodes about knowing
Yes.
your numbers. How
Mhm.
often do you recommend your clients check their numbers when you talk
Monthly.
about monthly? Okay,
Monthly.
okay.
Monthly. You can kill yourself by obsessing over your numbers.
Right?
So I mean, you review your numbers monthly with usually your bookkeeper. You do a quarterly review. So your general numbers, I would say monthly. Your
Okay.
trending numbers quarterly.
Oh, okay. Okay.
When you say trending numbers, what's the difference?
So, like, you want to know how your marketing is performing quarter over quarter, right? So,
Right.
I want to know if my business is on a growth trajectory, a
Mhm.
stable trajectory, or or a downward trajectory.
Downward.
So,
Got
if
it.
I'm looking at my monthly numbers and I'm looking at the campaigns or the funnels that we ran, I'm going to see what kind of engagement we got over the last 30 days. And I'm going to see what kind of sales we got, right? But
Mhm.
then when I'm looking at it from quarter by quarter, so 3 months over 3 months, for those who aren't familiar with that,
Mhm.
then what you're going to see is the trend lines. So
Mhm.
you're going to know what marketing is actually bringing in revenue for your business, and you can pivot.
Mhm.
And you've given yourself a good 90 days to give something a thorough enough test
Mm-hmm.
to
Mhm.
know whether or not it was a fluke or whether no, there was consistency here. It's time to mix it up.
Mhm.
Mm, that's
Love it.
good advice, Amber. If
Yeah.
Yes.
somebody wants to work with you, oh, and we didn't give a shout out. You have a new mastermind coming. Tell
Yes.
our listeners about that so
I
they
do.
know what it is and how to sign up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we were talking before the show about how important it is to be mentored and to have that support in your life. So I am opening up a new mastermind group for only 10 entrepreneurs because it is individual with me. And I want these 10 entrepreneurs to really absorb the concepts of the 4 C's of effective marketing. So we're going to get together for a 90-minute call once a month, and we are going to work through our homework, and we are going to have transparent conversations where I teach for an hour, and then there's 30 minutes of Q&A, and then you're given your assignment. So this is a mastermind group for people who want to implement the 4 C's of marketing in their business. Limited to 10 entrepreneurs. $4.99 is the cost per month.
Love it.
And we will put all your information, Amber, in our show notes so folks can find you, so they can connect with you. Shannon just put it up on the screen. If you are watching, if you're listening, don't worry, you can find it when you go to womenconnectedinwisdompodcast.com. But Amber's website is Far Beyond Marketing, and you took it down, put it back up.
I got you. I got
FarBeyondMarketing.com.
you.
Thank you.
Yes. Of course. You had it. You had it.
Y'all are amazing. Y'all, I can hang
Thank
out with
you.
y'all all day. This is so much fun.
Thank you so
Well, we are
much.
so grateful for your time, your
Yes.
wisdom. We are just delighted. This has been a great conversation. I know for
Yeah.
us personally,
Mhm.
but I know for our listeners too. I am just this been fun.
Yeah. And we talk about the retreat and whatever we're going to do in person. Amber, that's coming. After the books, we do like virtual retreats. We've done 2 summits that have been amazing. But here
Cool.
coming up soon, yes, we will be in person. So we're going to
Okay.
have a really good time in that room. We talked about fun while we work. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I want to be there. Send me that
Yes.
stuff.
Yay!
I want
Got
to
you.
be
Well,
there. Do it.
absolutely. Are you kidding?
Yes, you are
That would
invited.
be ridiculously fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
You're gonna have to let us know how Mexico went.
Oh,
Um, we
yes.
have a thing in interplay that we call doing on behalf of
Mm,
somebody. Like if you're dancing on behalf of somebody, I
mm,
need you to do some beaching on behalf of
mhm.
me, Amber, because I am beach deprived at the moment. So
I got you. I got
Mm,
you, Christine. Well, you've been pouring into your family with
yeah.
your
really,
graduated child and all that.
right?
So you are due for some beach. So I will
It's
Mhm.
send
good.
you beach juju and I will do some beach for you. But I'm going to encourage you
Thank
to do your
you.
beach. Yes.
Yes.
Right? Well, I
Yes.
was thinking this weekend that I'm going to look at that and really schedule that in for sure. Look at the
Mhm,
downtime. But it's not going to be Memorial Day weekend.
mm. Wise, wise. Phew, how much of the beach would you be able to see, you know?
Right? I know.
Uh,
Right.
All
uh,
right, Amber, thank you so much for being connected. We're so grateful to be connected with you. And
mm,
we will let all our listeners know in our show notes how they can connect with you, how they
yes.
can reach out, get your incredible mentoring for marketing, and just grow their businesses and thrive. So,
Thank you. It has been such a delight being with two powerhouse women. I have
Thank
so
you.
much respect for the work that you're doing, and I cannot thank you enough for the honor of being with you today. Truly a privilege.
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
More
Talk to you
soon.
soon. Monty.
Yeah, our listeners are hearing Monty. I realized rookie mistake right when we
Uh,
started. I didn't
uh,
completely latch the door. So
that's
he
okay.
came and opened the door and he's been here and so quiet the whole show.
Yeah, he did
But
good.
somebody must be coming home because
Mm,
he's alerting that
mhm,
the
mhm.
castle may be under attack. So all right, friend,
Oh,
what else
my
do we need to
goodness.
know before we close episode
Mm.
196?
Is there anything that we need to let the listeners know? I don't think so. It's just to pour into yourself, and what I really love about Amber's conversation is the 90 days. I've been thinking about marketing. We've been talking about the pace, and every week or every holiday, which is more than every 90 days, right? It's like, oh, I should be doing, oh, there's a, oh, what about, oh, and no, set it for the quarter, set it and forget it, watch it, stay in step, and then pivot every 90 days. That feels really good.
Well, and I really heard the message of connecting
Hmm.
and being relational with your
Yeah.
clients
Yeah.
and having those conversations. And yeah, and I just want to give a shout out to all our parents out there, all who are
Yes.
nurturing and caregiving. We know the month of May is intense. And so just really take care of yourself.
Hmm.
Schedule some time, even if it's not right now, schedule some time for you. And so you can pour into yourself so you can thrive and just be awesome in your community care, also.
Hmm.
So,
I love it. Okay. Okay, y'all. Well, thank you so much for listening and joining us for episode 196. We'll be here live at 5 next week. In the meantime, be well, be wise, be whole.